Dynasty peeps, what is up? Happy Friday and happy end of season to you. We're here to answer all your Dynasty questions. We are also here to show our support for you guys being quite awesome. We are very, very glad you're here. And as you might notice, we have 25 subscribers.
We can get that.
We could
in this
probably
live
get to
stream.
6K tonight and have a little celebration night like we did with our 5K live stream.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fun live stream. Let's see if we can do it again. But again, welcome in. Again, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. Let's get the number rolling. Let's get some Dynasty people all in the same community so we can create what is the best fantasy football game, in my opinion, around.
Bestest.
So, drop all your questions. It's good to see each and every one of you. We're going to go through, answer as many questions as we can tonight. So make sure that you are sticking around for all that. And again, like I said, drop any Dynasty questions you have. It is officially Dynasty season. It's rookie draft season. It's everything season right now. So lots going on. Let's go up to the top here and start answering some questions because we've got some questions from some of our most loyal supporters, including, I don't know this one. His name is Sam. He says, I met this really cool guy in Texas. He works at the Capitol and does a lot of things, including but not limited to Joe. And I would actually answer that with a follow-up question. And my question would be, who's Joe? Let me know. Trent, what's up, Trent? Good to see you, man. Sent in the Discord. Not sure if you saw first question, Keaton Mitchell or McKinnon. Yeah, we did. So will you got those pulled up?
Yeah, I got some start-sit
Cool.
lives here.
Let's answer this one real quick. First question, Keaton Mitchell or McKinnon?
So we're going to go with we're going to tell a lot of people McKinnon this week. Obviously, it's going to be really risky with McKinnon. It's going to be risky with Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell's snap share has gone up a little bit, but not enough for us to be super comfortable about him. Andy Reid has gone out there and said, for optics, I would assume that CEH is the next guy up. I think we all know that McKinnon is going to be probably the better option there for the rest of the year as long as Pacheco isn't playing. So we would give the edge to Jerick McKinnon there, in our opinion. And I'm actually going to pull up a couple questions in the Discord here.
What was that?
What the heck was that? No idea.
I don't see anything knocked over. That was weird.
Okay, that was actually bizarre. What was that?
I don't know. I'll find it.
I got it figured out.
Answer the question in the Discord. I'll figure it
out. So we also got some starting things like Waddle or Zeke for my flex this week. And for that, well, I think I already answered that one. I did say Waddle because we just don't trust Zeke. Obviously, Waddle's going to have to score more than 27 points to beat out Zeke. And that's not something we really predicted, but here we are. And then, dude, are we ever going to figure out what that was?
I have no clue what that was. Like, I have no idea. I'm looking around. Everything is intact. It was his mic.
His mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't take that down.
Yeah. Liam said Brees at flex or Ford or Zeke. Well, we would have said not Zeke. So at this point, we'd probably go. Would you go Ford or Brees? I like Ford better.
I would probably
this week
go Ford
because Ford has offered a really nice floor in the last month.
So Brees has had a floor.
He has had a nice floor. Yes.
So I think they're about the same.
Yeah. And then Velocity says Puka or Brees. Puka playing in Monsoon. That is correct. I would still give the edge to Puka. I know he's been inconsistent, but his ceiling is so much higher than Brees's. So I would go with Puka there. Pick 2, Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Deontay Johnson, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, JSN, or Jalen Warren. We're going to go with Chris Olave there because of Jameis, which is honestly better than Derek Carr from a fantasy perspective. And then, well, since Deontay Johnson already played, I would have said Deontay Johnson. Hopefully you went with the guy. But my third option would be probably Garrett Wilson there. Deontay Johnson had a solid game. Trent says start Keaton Mitchell or Dameon Pierce or Charbonnet if he plays, Jacoby Myers or JSN. So of those running backs, I would give the edge to Dameon Pierce because Kenneth Walker is, I think, trending towards playing this week. And then Jacoby Myers or JSN, we're going to go with JSN consistently now from now on because of the volume that he got last game in a solid matchup.
I do want to say we are now 24 subscribers from 6,000. How about that?
We're
getting close. Let's get this number up.
Yep. And then BT Wishman says David Montgomery, Javonte, Aaron Jones, or Cup. Pick 3 full PPR. Okay, so we're going to go with Montgomery for sure. In a full PPR, if Aaron Jones plays, I'm going to go with Aaron Jones, and I'm going to go with Cup as well. Javonte has been just kind of blah recently.
Gotten the volume, but not...
right.
Yeah.
Not the red zone opportunities.
Yeah.
Chef Cookie says, screw it, going Zeke over Waddle. Let's ride. Nice.
I know. I replied to that. I was like, you killed it, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dang, that was a shot call. That's impressive. Velocity says, Jaden Reed or Ferguson in my flex. I think he asked us this in the last stream, but we would go Jaden Reed. He's been on a nice stretch recently. Granted, it's been touchdown dependent, but Ferguson is not reliable at all. Trent says, with Pacheco out now, McKinnon or Keaton Mitchell. We're always going to go with McKinnon this week when people ask. And he also said, not a lineup question, but would you guys compare dynasty running backs to how would you compare dynasty running backs to wide receivers right now? Like, would you rather have 2 young elite running backs or 2 elite wide receivers?
Not even close.
Wide receivers, it's not close.
Yes.
I would say that I prefer the top 6 wide receivers over the running back 1 in Dynasty. I mean, who are those?
2.
So it's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Marvin Harrison Jr., and who would be your 6th? CeeDee Lamb, right? Duh.
Yeah.
I prefer all those guys.
Even Tyreek Hill.
Even
I
Tyreek
think
Hill.
you could make an argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really could.
Not kidding.
Yeah.
Not kidding.
So definitely wide receiver.
Yeah. And then thoughts on Michael Mayer as a tight end prospect? I don't think, nothing about his prospect has really changed. This situation in Vegas has been horrible this year.
Can only go up.
And he's honestly shown enough for me in the NFL that I'm not worried about him going into the future, but he's not going to really have much value until he starts producing as a relevant fantasy tight end in Dynasty. So I think he's fine. If you have him on your team, hold him.
Yeah.
One of the trades that I did this offseason that I was just remembering is on a contending team I needed a running back, and I traded Michael Mayer and I got Rashad White.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It actually worked out.
Yeah, I actually remember that trade. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Let's go on. Let's keep going here in the comments section. Trent also says, Trent, we appreciate you. Jacoby Myers or JSN. I think we answered that. Not a lineup question. How would you guys compare? Okay, so so we answered all those. Trent, glad we got to you, man.
He also asked us JSN or Rashee Rice in Dynasty. We're still going JSN easily.
Hunter says, sup, guys? Love the channel. Thank you, Hunter. We appreciate it. Good to have you back here. Dynasty running backs, Gibbs, Achane, Cook, Zeke, Gainwell. Thoughts? I think it's a fine running back room. You've got 2 studs up top, 2 top 10 Dynasty running backs in Gibbs and Achane. Then you've got a top 24 Dynasty running back to get some depth with James Cook. You have Zeke, a veteran that can actually give you some scoring right now. And then Gainwell is just a handcuff. And I think that's a fine running back room. Right now running backs are tough. So you've got some decent ones that are going to retain some value. So wide receivers, Lamb, Waddle, Wilson, Rice, Reed, Dubs. Should I be trying to trade up when I can since I have depth? I mean, you've also got studs. So I think I like your balance. You've got 3 studs and three depth guys, kind of. So
yeah. Hey, do you mind making the subscriber count symmetrical with the domain sign?
I can't edit it. Sorry. Hunter
says,
says,
"Are you kidding me?" Yes, you can.
No, I can't. I did it before. I can't do it live.
We were live and you had adjusted it.
No, I adjusted the comments.
No, you adjusted you moved the subscriber count because you showed it. Remember?
Are
you're
you telling me
I'm
lying? I didn't move it.
No, yeah, I'll go back after the video and I'll show you what
is
you did.
Josh Dobbs startable this week? Do you think he'll be valuable long term for Dynasty? He's startable this week for sure. Long term, I'm not sure about. I've got an outstanding trade. You guys should help me out in the comments. I have Jonathan Taylor on a contending team. I'm struggling for depth. And Nathan wants to trade me Josh Jacobs and Josh Dobbs for Jonathan Taylor. I'm leaning towards holding Jonathan Taylor, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Should I make that? Is it worth? Will it win me the championship? I also don't have a second quarterback. I had Jimmy G and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, for context, he's really hurting at running back. I don't want any running back really outside of JT on my roster in the offseason. And what else? He's one of the better teams in the league. And I have literally outside of Josh Dobbs and Jacobs, I have no other piece that I can give him. That would help him at all. Yeah. Legitimately. So.
Yeah. Hunter says, last question. What inspired you to start this channel? Good question. I haven't seen anything like it. Love your input. Never fail to make me laugh. Thank you, man. We appreciate it, Hunter. What inspired us to start this channel? We got together on Monday nights and watched Monday Night Football when the Manning cast started. We love Peyton Manning. We're Indy fans, obviously. And we started talking. We started playing Dynasty together, and then we just talked about it nonstop. It was one league. It was an 8-team league, and we never shut up about it. Yep. And so we started a podcast because we could just record this. And then the podcast, it did okay, and naturally I don't know why we started, but we just started trying videos. And
they sucked for about
really,
6 months.
really, really bad. They were super bad. But we did videos long enough. Eventually, like a couple of them took off. And so we were like, oh, that's how we started it. We kind of started as a podcast because we loved talking about Dynasty together, me, Nathan, and Simon. And so thank you for the kind words, man. We appreciate it. Let's go to Christian's comment. Christian says 14 team, Superflex, start 9, half PPR, rebuilding team has a 2-point lead, max PF, tank race for the 102. Oh, gosh. Would you trade? No. Would you trade Waddle for Christian Kirk in a mid? No. Nope. Just hold and take either Marvin Harrison Jr. or Caleb. Just take whichever one. They're equally good prospects. Definitely just hold there. Michael says, should I trade Keenan Allen for a second for the win? Giving up Marquise and Stevenson, getting Keenan Allen in a second. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Do that. Good trade, man. Sean says, best Dynasty content out there. Dude, Sean, thank you so much. We appreciate it, man. We love Dynasty. We are Dynasty people. So we really, really love this channel, and we've got big plans this offseason. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're glad you guys are here for this. Big plans. Christian says, Joe Mama, LOL. Yeah, you got that was you caught on. Sean says, thoughts on Michael Mayer's Dynasty tight end. We covered this a little bit already, but I do think Michael Mayer's situation can only really get better. He started to look better as the season's gone on. I think he was always a good prospect. I think that's still the case. I like Michael Mayer.
On the topic of tight ends, first of all, give me some, because I actually remember what I was going to say.
I know. I realized that.
Because I was going to say it in Fantasy Domain. I was like, I'll save it for Dynasty. Let's do some stuff here. Okay. Some live analysis over the last 12, 13 weeks.
This is the first time I'm hearing this, so you guys are hearing this live.
I had a thought during fantasy.
Wow,
someone was asking us about Trey McBride, and they were like, hey, this is my lineup. Who should I start? Yada, yada. And we were like, oh, you have McBride. You're chilling there. McBride has been really great. He's been a target hog. And I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I think Kyler has done enough. I think Kyler is staying there. I think Kyler's staying in Arizona. He's under contract. And honestly, with this QB market now, I think he's actually a pretty good value for the talent of quarterback that he is, compared to the top 5, 6, 7 guys that have been paid. And they have so many needs across the board at every position that why would they take a chance on a guy who now has questions in Caleb Williams when they could just ride with Kyler Murray? So Trey McBride, since week 7, has had 6, 14, 5, 9, 7, 9, and 9 targets, which is good for 5, 9, 25, 5, 21, 9, 13, and 22 points. Mm-hmm. He is now in PPR, the tight end 8.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Laporta in that stretch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to do this. 7, 10, 5, 5, 8, 9. Good for 7, 11, 19, 8, 6, 17, and 29. So what I'm seeing there from a fantasy perspective, obviously this year they've been in the same tier. Really, since tight end has been really important in that stretch after we kind of sorted through them in the first month or two. My hot take here is, in a vacuum, I prefer Sam Laporta as a talent and a dynasty asset over Trey McBride. I do. But from a dynasty market value perspective, I would rather pass up on Sam Laporta in the 3rd round and go get McBride in the 7th. Quite easily, in my opinion. Because of the target volume, because of what McBride has been doing with Kyler Murray. I mean, he's basically taking over Zach Ertz's role, but doing it better than Zach Ertz ever did in Arizona. And he's in debatably maybe even a better situation long-term, because Laporta, even though he's a great piece for that offense in Detroit, Ben Johnson's going to leave. We don't know what their offense is going to look like after Ben Johnson, okay? And he's playing alongside Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then a lot of touchdown opportunity being taken away in the red zone with Montgomery getting all the goal line carries and Jahmyr Gibbs getting a lot of opportunity in the red zone as well. That makes me question Sam Laporta's ceiling outside of the target volume he gets. Trey McBride, sure, there's plenty of questions too with the offense as a whole. How effective will they be in the next couple of years? But I'm starting to lean Trey McBride being a much, much, much better value than Sam Laporta this offseason.
Oh, I think I could agree with that. For sure. Yeah. I mean, value? Yeah, absolutely. because Sam Laporta's going to be going really high. And Trey McBride,
and the production is the same. The situation is debatably
it'll just depend on if people catch on with McBride. Like, that's really what it's going to depend on. So
True.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Nick says stack team must start Dak, Stafford, Tyreek, Diggs, Kamara, and then thinking Eckler, Saquon, Evans, which leaves Pollard, Swift, D-Hop on my bench. Lineup help, you're welcome. Let's see. Eckler, Saquon, Evans. I'm starting Pollard over Eckler. So I put Pollard in for Eckler. Saquon and Evans I'm good with. That's the only change I'd make. You agree?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Scribbles says, am I crazy for not having a huge gap between Nico and Dell? I don't think you are crazy, actually. Nico has shown a lot, and both are 24. Big name addition is more unlikely than most think. He disagrees. I agree. I think a big name addition is unlikely. I think they roll with Tank and Nico. I think they're pretty close in Dynasty value, honestly. Who do you have higher in Dynasty, Nico or Tank? Same age, similar production profiles.
Well, if they're the same age, I would just go Tank Dell.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in the chemistry of rookie wide receivers and rookie quarterbacks that go in the same class.
Right.
Like Anthony Richardson
So
and Josh Downs.
how big is the gap for you?
Pretty significant.
Okay. For me, it's not.
In my opinion.
I did my rankings today, and it wasn't a huge gap. Like, I think Nico's probably a top 20. Tank Dell's probably a top.
I think they could get closer together 50. If they go out there in free agency and sign a guy like Ayuk, which to me makes so much sense. I mean, I don't know if you're Houston. Why would you turn down? Why would you turn down signing a guy like Ayuk?
Because you've got Tank Dell and Nico, and they both have been really good.
They have like infinite cap space.
Yeah, but why spend the money on a position where they've been? I mean, I think.
Why did the Eagles spend the money on AJ Brown when they had Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith and pretty good run game, like in a six-back offense?
Because who was their wide receiver?
They gave up a first-round pick and they paid AJ Brown instead of just drafting another wide receiver.
Yeah, but we're talking about two wide receivers versus them only having Devontae Smith, who was a rookie at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So to me, that's the difference. But I personally think it's unlikely they get somebody big. But we're gonna.
I mean, you don't think the upside of Ayuk is like way higher than Nico Collins?
It absolutely is.
Then there's your answer for me. I don't know why they would turn down on getting a guy like that.
Yeah, no.
Everyone wants to go.
Do I think it's a good idea, or do I think they'll do it? I don't think they'll do it. I don't think it's a bad idea.
I don't know why a receiver wouldn't want to go there. I don't know why they wouldn't want to pay him. They have the ability to. They're one of the few teams that's like going to be contending probably next year and can make a run in the playoffs.
Think about it
actually have the money to do it.
Are the weapons that they had in the passing game this year good enough for them to make a playoff run?
We don't know yet.
How not?
Because they haven't made the playoffs yet.
No, it's theoretical though. If they made the playoffs, they have good enough weapons to make a playoff run.
Right.
Like I would.
So the question for me is this is going to be up to Houston and them evaluating their own assets, because you kind of see some assets kind of cap out at a certain point, and to me, I mean, if I'm the GM, I'd probably ask myself like, do I think we can get Nico Collins and Tank Dell as individual wide receivers to get to as high a ceiling as some of these elite wide receivers? Or can I get better with the money that I have at the position and upgrade and do something that I'd never be able to do through these two guys or quickly through the draft? You know what I'm saying?
I think the other
I think they'll build. I think they'll keep building defensively and in the offensive line through the draft. That just makes more sense in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the other option is, can I keep Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and CJ Stroud all on their rookie contracts and build a crazy defense and a crazy offensive line?
Right.
So
and like have one of the best receiving cores in the league. It's not like Nico Collins and Ayuk would be non-existent.
I mean, statistically, they've been one of the best receiving cores in the league this year.
Right. But it's kind of the same situation. To me, it's like Michael Pittman. Does Michael Pittman function best as a true one?
I mean,
or would he function better with a Malik Neighbors or a Marvin Harrison Jr. on that team?
I actually think I've changed my opinion on that a little bit. I think Michael Pittman's functioning fine right now. I think he's played fantastic.
Okay, but fantasy aside, as like when a team is game planning against the Colts offense, is Michael Pittman a true one? Is he a Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown?
He's obviously not. He's not
right,
a true
that's not a true one.
But there's a reason the Colts haven't gone out
and got a big name receiver. Can Nico Collins be
receiver.
that? No. Ayuk has the upside to be a true one. Right.
But I would say that the Colts' weapons are good enough to make a playoff run. I'd say Downs and Pittman, and I think
right, but it's not about playoff runs. It's about ceiling and like what Houston wants to do with that. And if they have the opportunity in the cap space to not only get a better wide receiver but create more complementary pieces, like that's something you would love. It's kind of like, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like the Saints situation where Michael Thomas, Olave, and Shaheed, when they're all healthy and at their best, are so complementary. But when you take one of them away, the other two have to play roles that are different than what they're best at, and they're still really, really good. But they feed off each other in such a positive way. And I feel like if you got a third guy that could really function as a true one in Houston's offense, it would be lights out for like all of those guys. Maybe not all in fantasy, and it would cap Nico Collins.
We have differing
Tank Dell's
opinions
ceiling.
on Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Like, that's the difference. I think they've been good enough. Like, I think they're sufficient. I
Cool.
don't think they need a receiver. But again, like,
I
will
think
they? I don't
but
know.
Again,
Should they?
Again,
I don't know.
again, you keep saying sufficient, and I keep saying upside. Like I think that there is not just higher fantasy upside. I think there's higher.
And
like,
so what I mean when I say sufficient
upside.
is like law of diminishing returns. Like, if they were to go sign an Ayuk, would that really benefit them so much that it would take them to the next level?
Yes.
I don't think it would.
Yes.
No, I mean, Nico and Tank have been good though. Like, how much better can Ayuk be? Like, seriously. That's what you don't understand. Nico and Tank have been really good this year, like really good.
I've watched them just as much as you have, and I think they've been really, really good.
So then, like, what? I don't think Ayuk is a huge upgrade there. They've been really good, and CJ Stroud has thrown to them fine. So if it works, like, why add somebody? I don't think they feel like they need to.
We'll see what they do.
Also, I mean, some of these teams, you have quarterbacks that can throw to literally anybody. So CJ Stroud's looking like one of those quarterbacks.
But again, is it ideal that they can throw to literally anybody, or would you capitalize on the opportunity to sign?
But they're not throwing to
because if they sign like one of these guys to a 3 or 4 year deal, by the time their deal was up, they would then just have to pay CJ Stroud. Like, they don't have to pay Stroud forever.
But that's kind of my point. Is like, I don't think Nico Collins and Tank Dell are just anybody. I think they've been good. I think they were.
I don't think they're just anybody either, but I think their roles. I think they'd be even more impactful in roles where they're not necessarily trying to get them to function as one. I mean, when you just look at it statistically too, like, you're not really seeing a true one in that offense. Statistically, like, it's very this guy this week, that guy the other week, and that's fine from a game plan perspective. But when you have a guy that you can consistently lean on week in and week out, maybe Tank Dell could be that guy. Maybe he could end up, because
I think Nico
he showed a month of being really consistent before his injury. But again,
I would think it would be Nico, honestly.
I think there's a lot of examples. I mean, a lot of people are big into because people see the wide receiver duo being Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They see that as the elite wide receiver duo that could potentially be elite. Same thing as like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. But I see a situation where
there's definitely a difference in that they don't have a Jamar Chase or an A.J. Brown or Stephon Diggs.
Exactly. And how much better would they be with one of those guys?
I mean, how much better would they be doing that versus spending money on the offensive line? Like, I mean, signing or even just defense. I think defense is a better example. Like, there's a lot more money to be spent on defense on that team, in my opinion. Or even a solid running back. Like, they really could benefit from having somebody in there that can freaking pass block. Like, for real.
Yeah.
So
I
just think Nico and Tank have been better than people give them credit for. Actually, I don't know. The Dynasty community does a pretty good job of hyping them up, honestly. But
yeah, I mean, every single video that we do about wide receivers, there's like a single guy in the comments that always says Nico Collins in all caps, top 10 wide receiver. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get there at some point. Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know.
Collins has been really good.
I originally was on like the T. Higgins to Houston train, and then they've been so good, I've been like, well, then just invest elsewhere. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. First time watching live, excited. Noah, thanks for joining us, man. Taryn says, what's good? What's good, Taryn? Good to see you, man. Medusa says Pacheco and a third for Watson and a second. Which side do you like? Just take Pacheco. I don't want Watson.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Watson.
We're not big Watson guys, to
Nope.
be honest. Scribbles.
I prefer Reed.
Scribbles again. Dynasty 12-team Superflex. Thin rebuilding team with only Herbert at quarterback. Have projected 109 and 110. Would you down tier from Herbert or different approach? Yeah, if it's really thin rebuilding, you have to down tier. That's the first thing I do. I've had to do that recently, honestly.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what if I thought about this. I have Mahomes in that league. What if I down tiered from Mahomes? Would you take Mahomes?
In that league?
Yeah.
I think I would. Is it in one?
Yeah.
Let me look at my. Let's do this live. Let's do a negotiation.
All right, let's negotiate live.
My team. Well, I have Stroud and Kyler.
I'll answer Noah's question real quick. Noah says 12-team Superflex, full PPR, no tight end premium.
Oh,
Why does you what?
I'd give you Kyler and Jacobs. Kyler and Jacobs, Stroud and Jacobs.
That's pretty close. Yeah. I mean, like honestly, like Stroud and Jacobs might be fine because that would probably do well for me, and I would keep some value, and I could.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Stroud's outlook for the rest of the season might be better than Mahomes, anyways.
Yeah, maybe.
But the thing is, then you're still stuck with one QB.
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
I could do
Dobbs in there.
Kyler, Dobbs, and Jacobs.
Yeah.
Kyler has a contract. Honestly, I might prefer to hold Kyler.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know.
I would hold Kyler.
I need contract insulation, but I like Stroud, and Stroud's technically more valuable.
Yeah, but I would definitely hold Kyler if I were you, because Kyler's undervalued right now. Stroud's not undervalued, but he's probably correctly valued in my opinion. I think he's a top 4. I ranked him
QB
4.
You did.
Yeah. All right.
You're not taking the guys with contracts over him.
If I were a rebuild, I would keep Kyler.
For me, there's more room for fluctuation with Stroud over the next couple of years than there is for people that have lockdown contracts. So we saw this with Herbert, right?
Yes,
like
absolutely.
The reason we didn't rank Herbert over Allen and Mahomes was because he didn't have the contract, and we knew he was going to get it.
Yeah.
But we knew there was room for fluctuation, and by the time he got it, he'd already fallen.
Yeah, he's been back up this year though, hasn't he? Points per game wise.
I don't.
He was at the beginning.
I don't know.
At the beginning of the season, he was first in points per game, but they've sucked recently, so maybe not. Noah says, you got a wide receiver room by Ayuk, JSN, Downs, Reed, QJ, Watson, and Tillman. Would like to package some of the younger guys for a legit start. Any idea whomst? Okay. I would go Ayuk and Watson, and I would try to target a Garrett Wilson or a Waddle or Olave. That's what I would do. That's honestly what I would do. You think so? I think Ayuk's the only guy there. It's like I think I could sell Ayuk right now. So Ayuk right now you can like trade straight up for Waddle. I like
the
that.
wide receiver 10 on keep trade cut. I think you can get Waddle plus. People are super low on Waddle, and people are like insanely high on Ayuk. I'm not necessarily saying people are wrong for being high on Ayuk, because again, I mean, if he ends up in a situation like Houston, I'm all over that. Like that's just dream.
Yeah.
But
I bought Cup 2 weeks ago for seconds because I thought I was buying him low. No one's buying him for seconds. What do I hold or use him in the toilet bowl? I would probably.
I'm letting Cup die on my roster.
Yep,
he has too much. He's really locked in LA for the next couple of years with that contract, like until he's 35 years old. So I would just stick with him. Hope he gets over this injury, and then see if he can't produce again at a decent level and ship him off for a couple seconds later to a contender.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, guys, we're going through all these comments, so make sure you drop a comment, drop your questions, drop your Dynasty trade questions or strategy questions, and Super Chats are going to jump the line, so if you drop a Super Chat, we'll jump straight up to yours. Sean says, what's up, guys? What's up, Sean? Traded DK to get DK for his playoff schedule, okay? Looking ahead, do we trade him away after the season since you have JSN as well? Solid at wide receiver. I can't afford to lose him. I think if DK has a great end of the season, you definitely sell. Definitely sell. But I don't think you have to because of JSN. Trade Dotson in a 25-second for a late first. Yes. It depends on how late. It's kind of a wash.
No, I would say no. I think there's going to be too many moving pieces in Washington over the offseason that, there's a chance you see McLaurin out the door. I don't think Dotson's leaving. He's too close. Not far enough removed from the first-round draft pick. Rivera's out the door. Who knows? They could draft a quarterback. Maybe Ben Johnson goes there. There's just a lot of situations where I see Dotson increasing in value. I think it's a wash there, especially for a late first. And you saw what the late first ended up being worth in 2023 when all the landing spots happened. It's whatever.
Yeah. Casey says trade C. Watson, JSN for Stephon Diggs. Oh, gosh, nice. Was receiver away from the ship, still have Tyreek. Yep. I think you killed that trade, Casey. Great job.
Good job.
Zach is the first this year, and he said yeah. So, yeah, I think our answer stays the same there. Scribble says start one, DeVito, T-Law, or Dobbs. Dobbs or T-Law, not DeVito. Probably Dobbs. He had one bad week. He's been pretty good.
I would go Dobbs because of the rushing upside. T-Law, the reason Lawrence has been producing in the last couple weeks is, actually because of the rushing touchdowns he's been getting in the red zone, not necessarily his passing volume. So I would go with Dobbs. I think he's safer there. T-Law's not going to be able to move if he plays.
What's your outlook on Pacheco? Is he a good NFL running back that will service me for the next 2-3 years? Do I need to sell high ASAP because he's one of the only viable options in Kansas City at the moment? If you can sell high, like we're going to start recommending to people selling high
on any running back
at the beginning of the offseason and buying running backs back when you start the season. So I'm not opposed to selling him at all. But I think he will be decent for a couple of years. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. Noah says 24 early first, projected second or third, 24 mid-third. For 25 first, Pitts, Quentin Johnson, no. In dubs, no. Hold your first. That's going to be way more valuable there. Matthew says 12 team, start 2 QB. You have 9. You have Dak, Stroud, and Love. Nice, A-Rod. Javonte, Lamb, Tank, Addison, Reed. Have a lottery 2024 pick. 3 25 picks. What move should I make? Okay. Hold your picks, all of them, every single one of them. Hold Tank. Addison you could shop. See who you can get for Addison. See if you can get Waddle. Waddle plus, maybe. Hold Reed. Hold Javonte. Hold Rodgers. Hold Dak. Hold Stroud. I honestly really like that team. And you've got a lottery pick?
Yep, me too.
Draft. I would draft Marvin Harrison Jr. if I were you. If you can get him. I like that team, Matthew. There's not, I mean, again, I'd shop maybe Addison and that's it. Good team. Carter says, I have Dak, Purdy, Pickett, and Bryce Young keeping likely the 101. Crazy for leaning Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think you're crazy. I think if Caleb Williams goes 101, though, try to trade back. Try to trade back and see if anybody wants him.
Yeah. Eric says, getting offers to trade away Jetta or Lamb, JJF. After the second blueprint, not much has changed to my roster. Should I be entertaining offer as a rebuild could end up with 3 first-round picks in the 2024 draft?
I think I saw your message. I don't think I was able to reply to it yet, so sorry about that, but I'll reply to it right now. Second, not much. So, no. I'm not trading those guys. They have some of the most insulated value, and that's what you want as a rebuild. So I think you just hold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hold these 2 guys, yes. Sean says we need some Packers representation.
We've got Rodgers.
I was going to say.
We got Rodgers.
We got Rodgers right here.
You can count Favre. He's in the Vikings
Favre
jersey.
is there.
I guess that's sacrilegious as a Packers fan. But,
right.
There you go. You used to
I feel like there was
We've got a
something
Rodgers
else.
trading card up here, too.
Yeah,
you just
there's
can't
an Aaron
see
Rodgers
it.
card up here.
Boom. It's right by the main one.
Yeah, there it is. There's
it's actually, it's got some value.
Right yeah. Is that Sam's card?
Shout out, Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
Trent says, how much would you give it to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Thinking about trying to send JT plus to get him. I would just not yet, Trent. We're going to come out with a rookie pick strategy video. We're not going to be chasing prospects that we like. There will be a buy window for him. Trust me.
Unless it's Romo Dunze. Then you have our full support.
Right. Christian says, is Purdy the best value QB in Dynasty? Yes, he is. You read our minds. We had a conversation about that last week. I'm actually going to go buy. I almost don't even want to tell people on the stream because I play in leagues with some of you. Shh. All right, here's a secret. Brock Purdy right now is the odds-on favorite to win MVP, and once he does, his dynasty value is going to skyrocket. Buy him
right now.
Like before the trade deadline. So that's in the next couple days. Go get Brock Purdy.
Uh-huh.
It's a big secret. I'm doing that in all my leagues. Trent says, have you guys ever done an auction draft? We have. One time we had an auction draft, and we were in with a bunch of morons, and they got super pissy about when we were going to do it, and it didn't even make
the league died before the draft.
The league died in the middle of the draft, so it was kind of hilarious. My friend is starting a Dynasty League and started doing an auction draft. Who are some main guys you would target? Yeah, auction drafts are tough to strategize for.
It really depends.
I just let
on
people
who
burn.
you're
Let people burn their money at the beginning. Is what I like to do.
Yep.
Scribble says, thanks, guys. You're welcome. Should have asked in the previous question, but who would be a down tier target from Herbert? Purdy, Kyler, Lawrence, Tua. I like those guys.
Yeah.
Trent says, also recommend the Discord. These guys are the best Dynasty YouTuber. Thanks, Trent. We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we love having you around, too, on the Discord and stuff. It's been real nice getting to know you. Nathan says, rebuilding team with Gibbs and Hall as my running back core. Okay, that's good. Should I move on or hold? If so, who would you target? My wide receiver core is really good, by the way. That's a great wide receiver core. I'm not opposed to selling any running back. Shop them. See what you can get for them. If you can get more insulated value, do it. We just don't know. Although those guys I feel like are fairly safe with their situation, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Austin says, what should I be looking for if I'm trying to trade Mixon? I would let him die.
A second.
Yeah, it's a second or let him die. Dynasty Dumpster Fire says, I traded Brees in a 26-second For JT, okay, I like that. An early 24-second and a 24-4th. Oh, wow. Playoff bound contender, and you have Moss. Dude, great trade. I love that trade. I don't even think that's close.
Good job.
Thoughts on Dontavian Wicks? I don't think he'll get enough opportunity to make a splash in fantasy. What do you think?
I think all the young wide receivers in Green Bay are really interesting. Not named Christian Watson. I think they'll keep trying. Actually, that's another really interesting place for some of these free agent wide receivers to go to is Green Bay. It's a possibility, but Green Bay actually historically they don't make really any free agency splashes offensively, so they probably just build through the draft if anything. I like Reed. Reed's my favorite. I don't think Wicks will really amount to a ton in fantasy. I could be wrong, but in order for me, it would probably be Reed, Dobbs, realistically Christian Watson because of investment, and then Dontavian Wicks. I don't think he's irrelevant, but I like him.
Is Kyle Phillips a hold? Sure. Yeah, hold. I would hold Kyle Phillips. I don't think you're getting anything of value. Yeah. Is Javonte on track for a bigger role next year being out from injury? I think he's gotten a good enough role this year. He's just not really, there's not really been a ton of fantasy points.
I think Sean Payton likes him.
I do too. So I think he's good.
Now, keep an eye out for, I think they signed P. Ryan to a 1-year deal, right?
Yes.
You can fact check me there if you want, but one of the things that Peyton intentionally did was he went out and he got P. Ryan. He kind of likes that type of running back. Look for them to draft that type of running back with that sort of skill set, but better in the draft next year because there's a couple of them. And you could see that guy eventually overtaking Javonte Williams. That's a big down-the-road prediction. A lot of things have to happen for that to work out. That's why I'm a little bit concerned with Javonte Williams, but also, he's got an opportunity, and I think Peyton legitimately likes him. So, but I do think he requires almost like a diet Alvin Kamara. I think Sean Payton misses that kind of asset.
Yep. Eric
Will
says,
Shipley.
Thanks. You're welcome. Right. Pace the King says, what do you guys believe AR's value is at? Right now, he's sitting at the 1-2 turn. So anywhere from 11,
right where he was last
11
year.
to 14. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as last offseason.
Crazy that he missed pretty much the entire season, but he did enough
Retain
in
value.
2 games to maintain his value because he was that ridiculous.
My boys, Rodgers is a
Y'all
Jet.
are smart.
Dude, we always remember Rodgers as a Packer, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
He'll always be a Packer.
Come on. He's a Packer, dude. Jeremy says, strategy questions. I have tons of running backs, and the league doesn't value them.
It's like saying remembering Peyton Manning as a Bronco.
Yeah, whatever. Peyton Manning's a Colt, guys. I have tons of running back. League doesn't value them. Try to move guys like Pollard, Swift, Kamara for first, but no offers. Yep, the competitive team just hold until they die. Hold until they die.
Yep.
Great, yes. Great strategy, Jeremy.
Yep.
Austin says, this is in 1 QB. Oh, about Anthony Richardson.
Oh. Well.
3rd round probably, but we can check that. Check the community rankings.
Yep.
We did get a super chat real quick, so we're going to jump down to our guy, Mighty Thunder. Mighty Thunder, we appreciate you, man. And your question is, would you trade pick 3, a mid-first, for pick 2 and a late first? Superflex League, my quarterbacks are Allen, Kyler, and Goff. Projected top 2 are Caleb and Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, if you need a QB, you've got Allen and Kyler and Goff. You don't, so you would need, so you want to move up to get Marvin Harrison. Yeah, I don't care. That's fine with me. You're moving up 1 spot then. I'm good with that trade. Yeah, I personally am. Because you're moving up 1 spot to move down a couple spots later, but later in the draft, there's a tier drop-off, so it's significantly less value you're losing. So, yeah, I'm good with that. I think you jump up and get Marvin Harrison.
Yep. So AR's ADP right now is currently late 3rd. So he's valued around JSN, Devontae Smith, Addison, Walker, which I think that'll change. I think Walker will be way lower. 24 mid-first, Sam Laporta. He's ahead of Joe Burrow actually right now, and Brandon Ayuk. So
yeah,
pretty high ceiling.
Will McLaughlin get a bigger role? I thought they were out on P. Ryan this offseason. Yeah, there is an out on P. Ryan. I don't think McLaughlin. I think it's Javonte Williams still.
Yeah.
Sam says to answer your question, Joseph Mother. Oh, poop. I didn't realize that. Nathan says, just want to flex my contender
sounds like
team.
Joe Mama.
And your contender team, Herbert, T-Law, Dobbs, Lamb, Hill, Brown, St. Brown, Olave. Holy crap. What? CMC eats. What? How? That's awesome, Nathan.
Thanks.
That Nathan's cooler than you.
He probably is.
You got a better team.
Yeah, probably.
Mighty Thunder, we appreciate you again for your super chat, man. Thanks for joining us. We love you. Sean says, as a fellow Hoosier and Colts fan, don't you dare speak such words about Manning. He will always be a Colt. Preach, my brother.
Yep.
People, when I see like NFL like posts on social media and he's in like Bronco stuff, I'm like,
it makes me want to vomit.
I literally hate it so much. I'm really protective of Peyton. So I'm like
14 years to 4 and a Super Bowl where he was washed. That was a defensive Super Bowl, okay? Like, I want to give Peyton Manning credit for winning 2 Super Bowls because it's better than 1, but you better consider him a Colt. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I agree.
Everyone wanted to hear him say that he would always be a Colt at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony because I was there in person. He didn't say it. Made me cry. But, I mean, pretty much everyone he talked about were all Colts people. So.
Sean says, why not take 2 receivers with those picks? Because Marvin Harrison will probably go at 2, so then the next guy would probably be next value there is probably going to be Drake May in a Superflex league. You could take Neighbors. I think it's worth jumping up. And you could do both.
Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance Neighbors jumps Drake May. I think there's a possibility.
This is interesting. Kyron in 107 or Tyjae Spears in the 104?
Oh, Tyjae in the 104. Yeah, that's a big teardrop.
That's a really big teardrop in my opinion.
Because you're getting one of the top 2 quarterbacks or one of the top 2 wide receivers at the 104. At the 107, you don't know.
Yep. All right, we're all caught up on comments, so drop any comments you have. We're going to negotiate our trade here. So, Mahomes. So if you threw in Dobbs, I could throw you back like a third because, I mean, but it doesn't matter in that size of trade.
It does not matter.
But I still will because it's a dart throw for a rebuild.
Yeah.
So I could just throw it to you just because. But Dobbs is probably worth a third or 2/3 right now. So
let me look.
That would be better though.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, it doesn't hurt me. I don't want running backs on my roster, and
you get freaking Mahomes.
I get Mahomes, and I'm already. I've got the 102 locked down.
Yeah, that's freaky.
So I'm getting. I could potentially get Caleb Williams if he takes Marvin Harrison Jr. 101. It's a win-win.
That's sick.
So I'm honestly chilling.
All right.
I mean, y'all think that's a. I don't even. I'm not even asking that. The difference between Stroud and Mahomes is absolutely.
That's pretty
Josh Jacobs. Like it's significant. It's honestly more than that, but as a contender,
Jacobs and Dobbs. Like I mean, it's yeah. It's just a contending move.
Yeah. You want to throw in Jonathan Taylor?
You're right. All right. We're not getting any more questions, guys. Drop some questions. We can sit here and talk Dynasty.
Do you have any rando receivers?
I don't know. You don't. I don't think I do. Yeah, because I wanted to throw you one.
You have a worthless 25 third. You don't have anything.
Yeah, sorry.
Dude.
All right, so Jeremy's got a question. Rebuilding team strategy.
I want your third and your fourth.
Fine. You guys say don't make all the picks, but first year of a rebuild, and I want to. 10 team. That's true. We do say don't make all your picks. We're going to release a video on that next week. 10 team, 524 first and 525 first. We'll sell 525 picks for production if 24 hit. Am I wrong? Here's our rule, and it will be in our video next week. 4+ picks, we're going to make about half of them, sell about half of them. In your case, I would make the best 3, sell 2. I don't think you're wrong. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm very hesitant to say that somebody does something the wrong way when you're playing a game.
It's so mean.
It is mean. It's disrespectful.
You skin a cat.
Yeah, you can just skin cats a bunch of ways. No, so I wouldn't say you're wrong. That's just our philosophy on it. We just think you reduce the risk you take on when you diversify between picks and proven production. So I don't think you're wrong. Try it. See, I mean, I like to try new things in my Dynasty leagues. Try it, man. Have fun with it. It's a game. And you do a good job at it.
Accept that trade.
I will. Rebuild year where I have... I'm not getting fleeced, right?
No. Okay. I personally do not think you're getting fleeced.
Okay.
There's no way Stroud falls any further than the 6.
Yeah, I'm going to be safe, at least for the
You'll
offseason.
be fine. Yeah.
Rebuild year where I have
Especially if they sign another wide receiver like Brandon Ayuk.
Right. Rebuild year where I have... Now I want them to do that. Have JSN, QJ, Downs, Mims, Hyatt, Parker, Washington, and A.T. Perry. Just no question, just a fun fact. That is an interesting set of rookie wide receivers, my friend. You went heavy in that class, though. It was a good class. Mighty Thunder, thank you again. We appreciate you, man. Just want to say I love your guys' channel, and you deserve more subs. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for the advice. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for your super chat. Can't do it without you guys. Can't do it without you, Mighty Thunder. Would you trade A.J. Brown, I'm assuming, for Brees? I would hold A.J. Brown. And what's Amon-Ra's value? In a Superflex league, let's talk Superflex here. If it's 1 QB, correct me. Amon-Ra is currently being valued on Flock Fantasy community rankings as the 12th overall player in Dynasty Superflex. He is a borderline first-round receiver right now in Dynasty leagues. One QB probably is first round.
He's been very quietly. He's kind of come down to earth a little bit, but super quietly consistent. Like
Yeah.
He actually, if you put his game logs side to side with Michael Pittman, there's not a ton of difference.
There's really not.
There's a higher ceiling with Amon-Ra, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. But it's actually funny. They're very similar players from a skill set perspective. Like, they're pretty much, they could be twins.
Yeah.
They could be brothers playing in the NFL. And just, yeah, it's great.
Dude, Mighty Thunder, we appreciate you again, my friend. Thank you so much. Let me see. Oh,
Gosh.
Jump back up.
It's like a load off my chest getting a running back off of a rebuild team. It feels so good.
Yeah, I need him too. You think
I'm down to
Abanikanda?
Keyshawn Vaughn and Perez Taylor.
There you go.
Or Patrick Taylor. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Sorry. Sean says, you think Abanikanda will take number 2 running back role next year? Yeah, I think he will. Nat says, where do you guys think Mike Evans ends up after the season? If the Bucks don't resign him, that's interesting. Where would he go? What's a team that needs Mike Evans?
The
I just hope he doesn't get the D-Hop treatment where
Texans?
nobody wants him. Yeah, I honestly,
I'm going to say the Texans all offseason.
honestly, I would like that better than an Ayuk. He'd be cheaper. I like that option better, dude. Like, and he could mentor the younger wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
That's a great option.
It is a
in
good
my
option. Who else? Do you? I kind of see him going over to the AFC. Could you see him going over to the AFC more than the NFC? You think it's not really doesn't really matter?
I don't think it matters. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Houston's my first thought too. Thoughts on Trey Palmer?
Houston literally makes
he's
sense in every scenario for any wide receiver.
Trey Palmer's still kind of a dart throw. So we'll see. But he's had some decent games this year. That's promising. He kind of flew under the radar as a prospect too. So
yeah.
Thoughts on Aiden O'Connell? I don't think he's proven that he's.
I think
be
he
anything.
offers literally zero upside.
Yeah.
At best, he is this generation's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that answer. Sean says start sit for the week. Go ahead, read this one.
I have the locked in, or no, wrong one. Sorry, from Sean. Start sit for this week without Trevor Lawrence and Murray. Grabbed Flacco and starting him. That's fine, honestly. Also got Browning. That's also fine. Superflex full PPR start. Yeah, go Browning, man. Full PPR starting. Amon-Ra, Olave, Metcalf, Achane, and Kyra need 2 flex to be continued. Browning, JSN, Puka, or Javonte, you need 2. We're going to go Puka and we're going to go Browning. JSN is a close third, but you cannot turn down the quarterback, especially when they're playing the Indianapolis Colts. You have to start the quarterback. So those are our options there.
Yeah.
Javonte's last. Mighty Thunder says, I have 2 late firsts after I just accepted the trade to move up to 2.
Nice.
Good.
There you go.
Nick said, unserious question. Me versus my roommate, Dynasty Trades. All put together, who wins? Laporta, QJ, Flowers, Herbert. For Burrow, 24 first, 25 first, 226 seconds. Herbert and Burrow are in the same tier. So that's a wash. So do you prefer Laporta, QJ, and Flowers, or a 24 first, 25 first, and 2 seconds? I'm going to go the elite tight end. Is it tight end premium? That's actually important. We'd like to know there. I would say I would give the edge to Herbert. I think it's a good deal. But I would give the edge to the proven tight end who's already produced as a rookie tight end and just take those players there.
Yeah.
DJ Kennett 242 says 10
What's up,
team
DJ?
Superflex start 8. I have the locked in 101 103. 101 through 103. QBs are Richardson, Herbert, and Love. Nice.
Let's go.
Wide receivers are CD, Chase, Tank, Downs, Jaden Reed,
I like that
JSN. Should I trade some of these picks for proven talent? What are they worth? My man, those picks are worth any
Gold.
player from the 1-2 turn. So you can easily get CD Lamb for one of those picks.
He's got CD Lamb.
Then get AJ Brown instead, I guess.
The only wide receiver left to get up there is Justin
Jamar
Jefferson.
Chase.
No, he's got Chase.
Oh gosh.
Like,
yeah,
it's Jefferson and AJ Brown.
dude.
Like,
If Jeff is does not perform these last few weeks with Josh Dobbs, there's a chance he loses a little bit of value. And
trade the 101 for Jeff
Yeah.
if you have to. Like,
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
But then also 102, 103, like those are all guys in the second round.
Yeah. I would say lock down Marvin Harrison Jr. So make sure
Use one of those to get Bijan. You could use a running back. And
Bijan is trading those picks for Bijan.
Yeah, you can trade one of them for Bijan. The 103 maybe.
You really want to trade for a running back?
Bijan
With
will
one
be
of those
the
picks?
Bijan will be the only
Good
one. I control.
gravy. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Austin says, sell or keep Walker in a super flex league where we keep 8.
Sell.
Probably sell.
He's still valued too high.
Yeah, half PPR in our flex spot, screwed by Pacheco being out. Keaton Mitchell, KJ Osborne, or Wanda. Keaton Mitchell, go the running back there. Tanner says, Nathan, you said you'd like seeing me lock down the 3 top 12 QBs. However, what if I was able to get Amon-Ra St. Brown? I'd have Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Marvin Harrison Jr., JSN, Downs at wide receiver, and Burrow T-Law at quarterback.
Do it.
I like it.
Yep.
I would do it.
Do it.
Trent says, how many leagues would you guys recommend playing in? I'm in 1 keeper league and 2 redraft, and the keeper is way more fun, and it's also with closer friends. So here's the thing. Don't take advice from us because we're unhealthy.
Right.
Avery's in 19.
Because Dynasty. Because we're addicted. And
no, he's a degenerate. He loves startup draft. I love startup drafts too, but he couldn't stop. I had to stop myself, and I had to walk away because I knew I was gonna.
But some of it. But here's the thing about ours.
I'm
though,
in 10. He's in 19.
We have
are you in 19 or are you in 15? No, you're in 15.
15 Dynasty. I have a couple.
15
redraft.
Dynasty. Okay, I have 3 or 4 redraft. So not counting redraft because redraft is easy.
I think I'm in too many Dynasty leagues.
Yes.
I would say 10 or 12 is the sweet spot.
I maxed it out at 10 for a reason. I think 10 is perfect.
Yes.
10 is my perfect max.
I'm probably not going to do a lot of startups this year.
I'm not going to go over 10.
Yeah. Good question. Also, you said 1 keeper, 2 redraft. Do some standard Dynasty leagues. You're in our Discord. You're going to get in a league with us this offseason for sure. I will do a listener league with you guys for sure. DJ says running backs are Bijan, Gibbs, and Brees. And that was for this question up here. He already has Bijan. Holy smokes. Remember, I just told them. I said, go. He literally has. How do you have? He has 3 running backs in the. There's nobody left to get.
You're looking good, man.
Dude,
you're looking good.
You have all the talent in that league. How did you get that team?
Yeah, looking good.
That's awesome, man. I just draft them. I just draft those players.
Mm-hmm.
Will the Colts keep Zach Moss next year? I think they're going to keep Zach Moss. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they will.
Somebody asked about that on a running backs rankings video, and I was like, I actually think he stays with the Colts.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't have him in there.
Nick also says no tight end premium, so that makes the deal even closer for me. But with Laporta's target volume, I think it'd still give the edge to Laporta and Flowers just with the proven players. You might get a little more flexibility there with making trades in the offseason.
True.
Blair says traded Mike Evans and Puka for a 24 first and second. I would have gone Mike Evans and Puka. Obviously, if that pick is anywhere from the 101 to the 103, okay, probably give the edge to
101 to
those
105,
guys.
probably. 4. Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors I would probably take over Puka. He is amazing.
Yeah, we'll see once we get there. I mean, if Puka even gets close to breaking the rookie receiving record, are you really?
Yeah. I think so, but we'll see. It's a
Dang.
testament. It's a testament to Neighbors. It's nothing against Puka. Neighbors is really good. Way too early.
Part of me wonders if Puka, not talking to you, discussing with you. Part of me wonders if Puka's not rising as quickly as he should just because of his draft capital.
I think it's also just because of the uncertainty around Stafford and the situation.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do think he's a buy. I like Puka as a buy right now, actually. Way too early planning. 12-team, 1 QB flex, 2 flex PPR. Acquired 3rd overall pick. This is 1 QB. JSN, London, Puka, G. Wilson, Moore, Flowers. Planning to take Rome, draft Bowers, or trade out.
Rome.
He's going to be excited about that.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, so that's
I'm already not.
So Neighbors and then Rome. Yeah, that's
Love
good.
it.
Yeah, I like
Love
that.
it.
Good job. ReggieTube.
Do you know what I'm gonna do if the Colts draft a Romo Dunze? They're not gonna draft a wide receiver. I think they're gonna pay Pittman, and I think they're happy with who they have.
Yeah, I think they should be.
Like,
I think he's done a
legitimately.
really good job.
I think you think they'll go corner in the first still.
They freaking yeah, they will. They will.
They should.
They will. Problem is their draft pick's going to be later than we thought. They're not getting a lottery pick corner.
I know.
Which kind of sucks, but
Maybe they trade up.
yeah.
Bauer doesn't do that.
But let's
though.
make the playoffs. I'm cool. Like, or even just win.
Don't say playoffs. It's not going to happen.
Or just win the
Stop.
division. I just want to win the division.
You know, if there's even a chance for them to win the division, it comes to the last game of the season, and I will bet all of my money on CJ Stroud winning that game.
The problem is Jacksonville has the tiebreaker, and they are still a game ahead, so it's highly
Tiebreaker
unlikely.
doesn't matter if they don't have the same division record. And right now, their division records, because
interesting.
they could be a game.
Do
up
we have
in
a
the
better
division.
division record than Jax?
It's close. I think we've played more division games than the Jags have,
All right.
and they're not necessarily on the rise.
No, because Lawrence is hurt.
No, they're a game better. So they're 4-1.
Yeah.
So they have played as many. So they would have the tiebreaker
both ways right now.
both ways right now. So
it's gonna be
yeah.
tough.
Okay. I thought they played less games. I thought they'd only played like 3 or 4.
No, caught up.
Houston's the team that's played way less. Indy and Jacksonville have both played 5, and Houston
plays the Titans.
Houston's
twice.
played 3, and the Titans have played 3.
And the Titans, they played the Titans twice in the last couple weeks. Yeah.
So those are 2 automatic wins. Except they play each other hard usually, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
It's usually a
It's
close
usually
game.
a crapshoot, though. I think Stroud will kill him.
Yeah.
I'm looking to move out. If I'm looking to move out Jacobs in a 1 QB, what should you target? Will you look at the rankings? Let's check the Flock website. Check our Flock community
Who
rankings.
am I checking for?
Josh Jacobs in a 1
Superflex, 1 QB.
Yep.
I got both of them wrong.
The exact opposite of what you just said.
I'm going to spit in the mic. His ADP currently 42, ranked around Higgins, DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Cooper Kupp. This
is gross.
That's disgusting.
Cooper
Kupp's going to fall.
Hold Josh Jacobs, please, because he's going to get a contract.
Jacobs going to
and
get
he'll go
paid.
up in value.
Yeah. I honestly, unless I'm in like a hard rebuild, I'm pretty comfortable holding Jacobs. Actually, before I did this deal with Avery on Lifetime, my alternative option was, I guess I'm just stuck with holding Jacobs, and it's honestly not the end of the world having him. But ideally, you want every running back off your roster as a rebuild.
You got Herbert, Gibbs, Kyron, Javonte Cook, Justin Jefferson, Olave, Pickens, Watson. Have a mid-late, first, and 2 thirds. 3 wins right now. What's the way out? Good question. The way out, you got a down tier from Herbert. You got to sell George Pickens, sell Christian Watson, sell any tight ends, sell Jahmyr Gibbs, sell Kyron Williams, keep your quarterback, keep Jefferson, Olave, literally try to sell everybody else. Try to down tier, try to get value wins in those trades. Make a lot of trades. That's the way out. You'll get there. Mighty Thunder said, would you guys move those 2 late first and Addison for CD? I think market value-wise, you could get a closer deal than that. People are really high on Addison right now. But would we do that? We got London, Addison, A.J. Brown.
Would we do that?
Let's see where the first end up. How about that?
Yeah.
Sean says, will Ruckert become tight end 1 in New York next season? I would think he would. I would think so. I traded Tank Dell for Jordan Addison. My 10-3 team needed a wide receiver 3. That's a good move. I like that. What's the gap between Caleb Williams and Drake May? It's a tier. Well, I mean,
no, it's
technically,
not.
we have them in the same tier.
Yet. Yeah, we actually just did, spoiler alert, we did a
Dynasty
top 24
rookies.
2024 Dynasty rookie rankings, and it's going to come out this week, and it's going to be super awesome and super cool, and y'all are going to go watch the video, and you're going to like the video. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. So we actually did, do I want to spoil the top tier? Do I want to keep it
let's keep it
suspenseful?
secret. Let's keep it secret.
Secret.
Well, you're going to
It's nothing crazy.
You're going to get that answered next week, Sean. Would you trade Tank Dell for Jordan Addison on a 10-3 contender? Yeah.
Yes, I would do that.
Good. Evan says I'm projected to have right. I'm projected to have the 103, 104, 105 today. What would it take to move from 105 to 102? How about 104 to 102? It'd probably take quite a bit. You're probably talking about a late first. You're probably swapping firsts or throwing in a really late pick. Rain says, should I trade Stroud for Justin Jefferson? Yes. In a superflex? Yes. Oh, wait. No. Timeout. Pause. Don't make that trade. Should I trade Stroud for Justin Jefferson, then trade Zay Flowers for Howell in a third? I'm taking Stroud. Are you taking Zay Flowers or Howell in a third? Flowers still. Howell's been pretty good.
He's been good in fantasy. Have you actually watched him?
Yeah, I'll take Flowers.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Howell guy. It's not necessarily against him. He's been really resilient in the situation that he's been in. Bieniemy, I guess, just finds so much joy in letting his quarterback get absolutely murdered, and all he wants to do is call pass plays all day. It's great for fantasy. It's not great for like good football. But Sam Howell, there's going to be too much movement in Washington for the next year or two. I don't really trust this situation long term.
I want you to answer this question.
Okay. Thinking about pushing back my league's trade deadline from week 11 to 14. Yes. How do I convince my league mates it's the better option? All right. You can come back and listen to this after I say it all, and then you can write it down on a script, and then you can send it to your league mates if you would like to. Dear league mates,
comma.
In Dynasty Fantasy Football, there is absolutely no reason that the trade deadline shouldn't be week 14 for the following reasons. Actually, I should pull up Bohemian Groove. I wrote an entire script on why I thought it was.
We had a league where this happened, and Nathan went bananas.
I went bananas.
I don't like it either.
Because, okay, here's reason number one. There are 10 teams by week 11 that could potentially be in the playoffs.
Typically, yeah. You're correct.
At least 4 of those 6, in that 10 to 4 range, 6 of those teams are going to be in a way different situation than they ever expected. Some that thought they sucked end up contending. Some that thought they were really good, unfortunately, end up out of the playoff race. But you don't know by week 11. It is a total crapshoot in week 11 if you're going to make a run or if you're not going to. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't like it. Week 14, you really don't know until the end of the season. There are some situations right now in a couple leagues where I still have a chance to make the playoffs going into week 14, but I know I have to call it at that point.
I have multiple situations like that.
Yeah, it's
3.
Yes, very, very bad. So here we go. It's a mutually beneficial change for rebuilds and contenders alike. Like I already explained, for those teams that are rebuilding, they can, they have more time to be able to make deals for contenders that want to make a push by week 14. If you cut off 3 weeks from that, you're not going to get as many deals done, and it's not fair. There are 8 teams in this league with a record of 4-6 to 6-4. That happens a lot of times. Dynasty is a game of trades and team building. Why would we limit our window to make moves that help people's future and others' ability to win now? If we expect 10 of the 12 teams at this point to just keep trying to contend, when half those teams are going to be screwed in 3 weeks, how does that help the integrity of the league? It totally compromises the integrity of the league, in my opinion. If anything, it'll result in more lopsided desperation trades by week 11. Because you have people that are making trades that aren't fully informed of the state of their team. The deadline moving to week 14 isn't necessary. Some people will consider it as weak and it's kind of cheating because you're just bailing at the end of the season. No, it's not. You're not bailing. It's not a weak move. If teams really do wait to make moves until the last second, it's reflective of the competitive nature of the league. You have a more competitive league if your deadline is week 14. Teams trading off contending assets at that point probably didn't even know for sure that they were going to miss the playoffs until at least week 12.
Marvin Harrison Jr. just won the Biletnikoff, by the way.
Oh, good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. So that means he's not going to win the Heisman, right? Or is it separate?
It's separate, but he won't win the Heisman. It'll be Jaden Daniels.
Good for him. So yeah, you can't really tank if you wait that long to trade away contending pieces because your record's already mediocre. So people who say it's weak to wait until week 14, if you're a team that's waiting to tank until week 14 anyways, you're not getting a top pick. It's probably going to be no better than a top 4 pick. It's likely going to be 5 or 6 if you're waiting until week 14. That's just what happens. That's the cost of waiting that long. It's not like teams can just jump ship and guarantee they get a top 3 pick. Scales always balance out when you let the market of contenders rebuilds play out. It can get more lopsided when you force their hand one way or the other. I stand by that. I'll die on that hill. I'll read that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I forgot that I did that, and I was like...
I remembered.
Were you like, oh?
Yeah, I read it. I was like, oh, Nathan's going to flip. Traded CD for Chase as a rebuilder. Good trade. Fair trade. Other guy's a contender. Fair trade. Yeah. Austin says, worth keeping Ferg or Kincaid in the Superflex League. Kincaid for sure. Yeah. Ferg maybe.
Yeah.
Shifloss says, what would happen? What's up, Shifloss? What would happen If in the first picks, if Marvin Harrison doesn't declare, Neighbors goes up. Literally everybody besides Caleb Williams would just slide up one spot. Yeah. And Neighbors would be the wide receiver 1 in this class.
NIL is going to be really interesting for the future of prospects, especially at running back, because running backs already don't get paid that much off their rookie deals because a majority of them don't go in the first round. So running backs specifically are like much more incentivized to go back for extra time in college than to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to start seeing a lot of consistently older prospects in the NFL.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think it adds up.
Yeah.
Logan says 12-team 1QB, you have the 102, 3, 4, and 5 in 24. Should you trade the 102 and 105 for the 101 and take Marvin Harrison? So that's Neighbors.
No.
Neighbors and Neighbors, Adunze, Egbuka. Who's the 5th in our rankings? Seriously?
You'd probably get anywhere from
Bowers
to, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, no, I think I'd stay put there. 105 is a little bit steep, in my opinion. Austin says, what do y'all think about FSU getting bent over?
So,
okay, good question. Let's talk about it.
I want to hear your opinion because I think I've told you mine, right?
Yeah, so
they don't know mine, but
so I think the ACC's screwed, first of all. The fact that they didn't let Florida State in, undefeated Florida State in, I think that screws the ACC. I think Alabama would have wiped the floor with FSU, and I think that tells you all you need to know about who should be if you're doing it on the best teams. Alabama is better than Florida State. It's why the Michigan team, when they reacted to who they were playing, they were like, "Oh crap, Alabama's better." FSU probably deserved to get in. Alabama was probably the right move. I'm a big proponent that Washington should be in. I think
they beat Oregon twice.
I think they earned
an
it,
auto bid.
and I think they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Texas, I think you have to put Texas in if you put Alabama in. Could you have just put Georgia and FSU in? Maybe. Either way, somebody was going to lose really bad, and you can't not put an SEC team in my opinion, because it's just the best league.
Yeah.
A one-loss SEC team is better than a no-loss ACC team. Mm-hmm. So I'm not bent out of shape about that. I honestly think it could have gone a bunch of different ways. I knew somebody would be pissed. So
there's a couple layers to this. Number one, you cannot tell me that Florida State is one of the top 4 best teams in the country.
They're not.
Second, the fact that the CFP has been the top 4 teams for 10 years at this point is stupid anyways. It was doomed to be a horrible system from the beginning. Like, it honestly is, it's terrible, and the whole committee thing is a joke, whatever. At the end of the day, college football is and always will be about money. And the SEC, Alabama, and Texas, they will generate the most revenue.
Yeah.
For college football and for those respective conferences.
It was clearly
those teams. Yeah. Georgia, I personally think Georgia should have made it instead of Texas.
I think Georgia's better than Texas.
Texas beat Alabama, but that was in week 2.
Yeah.
There's so much that happens between week 2 and whenever, or at the end of the season. In Georgia, the fact that Georgia fell from number 1 in the country to 6 is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Something like that was
and I think that was
happen.
just appeasing the masses. The other opinion I have on this is I don't believe that the committee would have kept Florida State out of the CFP if the yes, but if the 4-team limit was to continue after this year. I think they decided that they wanted to have a really good CFP for the final year of it being 4 teams, and that did not include Florida State. Because at this point, Florida State can be crybabies about, not crybabies. I feel really bad for them, legitimately. Florida State can
Florida State can suck it up because they're just a bunch of big babies.
No, Florida State can be really upset about it, and we can be really upset for them about it. But at the end of the day, the CFP is changing anyways next year, and the committee knew that.
All right, let's keep going. Yang Gang says, "Hey guys, glad I could show up finally. We're glad you could show up, Yang Gang. Would you sell Devontae Adams even if you were a top 3 contender? Appreciate you guys. Yeah, for the price. I mean, for the right price, absolutely, I would. I think anybody's sellable. I mean, if you're contending top 3, I would definitely take the points. So make sure you're winning on points. What would it take for you to move from the 101 to the 102?
Same tier.
A late first.
Yeah.
A late first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts on Luke Schoonmaker?
Not a lot. Ferguson's there.
Fergie's the guy there, I think.
Yeah.
He looks really good. Y'all like Neighbors? We like Neighbors.
We do.
No doubt Marvin Harrison's a better prospect, but me personally, I'm going to be buying all the Neighbors stock I can. Dude looks great. Malik Neighbors might have a higher ceiling than Marvin Harrison. Ceiling? It might be Neighbors.
Potentially.
Who's the more well-rounded, safer prospect? Harrison.
Yep.
Who has, I mean, that's crazy. That says so much about Malik Neighbors. Yeah, we love him, man. He's going to be great. My league has weird rules, okay? Winner of the consolation bracket gets the best odds at first pick. I hate that. That's so dumb. It prevents the worst team from getting the first pick. It's the best team of the bottom 6 that wins.
Here's another monologue from me for you to. You need to petition this to your league. Anyone whose policy is a consolation bracket to determine draft pick order or the toilet bowl in sleeper leagues. Why would we overcomplicate things when you can just determine draft pick order by max PF for teams that don't make the playoffs? It's foolproof.
It puts the league.
It is so foolproof
that
and
strategy,
perfectly reflective of who actually deserves a 101.
That strategy puts the league out of balance.
Yes.
Because I have some really good teams that are going to finish 7th this year. That those teams would wipe the floor with all the bottom 5 teams, and I would get the number 1 pick. And it puts the worst team. If it basically means this: if you have a team and I have one of them or 2 of them that are just really really bad, awful, it's going to be almost impossible to rebound from it. You'll never win the consolation bracket.
Yep.
Chief Law says, would you guys put Neighbors with last year's rookie wide receivers? I'd honestly.
Wide receiver 1.
He would have been the wide receiver 1 last year. He would have been higher than JSN.
I would have had him over JSN.
Easily. Roll Tide, guys. Love the channel and the stream. Roll Tide, man. I was an Alabama fan when I was a kid, so I can say Roll Tide, but I'm glad you guys got in. And love channel, love the stream. Thanks, man. We appreciate you. Rain says, Superflex, 12 team. Start 11, tight end premium. Should I trade Trevor Lawrence and Ridley for Purdy and Ayuk? I would hold Lawrence.
I don't mind that.
Really?
What's Purdy's and Lawrence's career trajectory in fantasy, respectively?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Purdy's consistently outproducing Lawrence. Yeah,
right.
Sure, Lawrence maybe offers a little bit more upside.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I'd probably go Purdy and Ayuk there.
All right, thoughts on Troy Franklin from Oregon? Coming in the rookie rankings video that we'll release. Are we going to release that Tuesday or Thursday? We did a rankings video today.
Let's try to do both of them as early as we can because we have them available pretty early. So we could probably get one off Monday and then get one on Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right, so Monday or Tuesday we're going to have our rookie rankings come out and we cover Troy.
Do the strategy ones usually do better later or before?
They usually do about the same.
If they transcend, let's just do rookies first.
Okay. Yeah. So probably Monday we're going to have rookie rankings out. We talk about Troy Franklin. We had him pretty high on our rankings.
We'll start diving into really in-depth game by game film analysis on some of these guys to really have a solidified opinion on every single player. But with Troy Franklin right now, we don't have him as high as maybe some people want him to be just because there's a lot of questions of was he really just a product of one of the best offenses in college football with Bo Nix, one of the best college players in football. Sure, some people may say we're inconsistent with our logic compared to Rome Odunze, but I think Odunze is I think he's been better than Troy Franklin. So, a little spoiler there.
Is CD going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. in 2 years from now? Hard take, but what y'all think? Woo, that is hard. I don't think there's any way to know. I would guess they're going to be in the same tier of receivers.
Probably same tier.
Yeah. So, Slurpee says that's kind of a cop-out. I don't mind. Hey, 19 subscribers from 6,000. Let's go. You guys rock. I have 5 firsts in 2024, including
21, not 19. Oh, mine is delayed.
You sure?
Yeah, no, look. It says 59.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at it. I was correct. You were correct too. We were both correct.
Although I was
based off of what we were looking at. You were in time. I was just in the past.
Is that thing in the middle still bothering you?
I'm a Why did you mention it, dude?
I'm a full rebuild without much cornerstone assets. You're 0-13. How would you use the first efficiently? Caleb Williams. And then another pick, and then you need to sell some for some really good studs.
Yep. Hey.
You need it.
Spoiler. With all those picks, we have a video coming out for you this week.
We'll have a video for you next week with the pick strategy.
About what to do with those picks.
Purdy, Love, A-Rich, and Superflex at 102, 101, oh, sorry, wow. 101 and
101,
102.
101,
101 is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. Should I sell one of my quarterbacks and draft Williams or take Neighbors?
Never, ever, ever sacrifice value to go for team need. You always want to take value with the picks that you have. And right now, that value is Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. Don't let Williams fall to the 103. So take Williams if you can't trade it away for something that's even better.
Thoughts on JT for CMC? Team getting JT trying to make more long-term push. Team getting, it's
a wash.
Wash. Yep. Good for both sides. Rain says was asking a CD Marvin Harrison question because I was getting offered the 102 and an early second for CD, and it's pretty debatable both ways. I would probably take Marvin Harrison in the second there. Getting an early second, I'd take that. Marvin Harrison and CD are going to be the same tier, so I'm fine with that. All right, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes, so we're going to call it right now. We appreciate all you guys joining us today. We're going to be on again next week. We're going to have multiple Dynasty videos, including rookie rankings and rookie draft pick strategy video coming out next week. We are going to hit 6K very soon, so we really appreciate all you guys so much. I do have one more thing before we go, and I just wanted you guys to get this reaction, but
I knew it did.
I can move it, and
Yeah,
I lied because I knew it would drive you crazy. So, all right, boys. Peace.
You're full of it.